so glad you took the time to spend this time with me. First of all, let me welcome you. Secondly, let me tell you why I'm doing this training. I'm doing this training because so that I can help the employees who want to become self-employed and help them to navigate the entrepreneurial journey. And I also want to support and inspire and help those who have already made the transition to become business owners. It is my intention that when you leave this training, you will be even more inspired and excited to learn more about the exciting journey of entrepreneurship. I have some bonuses for everyone that stays until the end of this training. And by the way, I will be making an outrageous offer to anyone who wants to work with me. Also, for the record, I need to inform you that this training is being recorded. Now, are you ready? Now, first of all, let's see who do we have with us in the group tonight. If you are an employee who is looking to start your business to become self-employed, then go ahead and put a one in the chat box for me. Now, if you have a business, that means you've already launched, you've already started, then go ahead and put a two in the box. Okay, so, okay, great, good, nice to see you. Okay, now let me just take a few of you to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you are calling in from, and what business you are in, if you're in business, and what do you expect to get out of this training. Okay, so most of the people, most of my clients that I work with, their objective, what they want is a life of freedom, independence, and financial wellness. So, what about you? What is your reason for wanting to go in business? Is it like many of them uh, that want you want your freedom? You want to be able to uh, make your decisions without having to ask someone's permission. You don't want to have to always be asking for time off. You want to make that decision yourself. Is that right? If you feel that you're going in business because you want to have the freedom to travel, as long as you want, and at the same time have your business running, have money coming in, then go ahead and put a one in the chat box for me. Hmm. If that's the kind of freedom that you want, then great. If that sounds like you, then you are in the right place. What else do you want? Go ahead and put that in the box. What do you want? What do you want out of your business? Why you're going in business? Okay, great. Now, I know that uh, from what I've gathered from the people that I talk with, many find themselves in a tough spot. And here's why. Uh, the person that is an employee who wants to leave his job to start his business feels stuck in the job. That's one of their motivations for wanting to get out. Do you feel that way? Do you feel stuck in your job? You're just not certain that when you go in business, you will succeed. You're just not certain how to start. Who feels that way? Put a one in the box. You don't know where to start. Does that sound like you? You just don't feel confident. If that sounds like you, then put a one in the box. Yeah, many do feel that they are in a tough spot. And even though they know they have it, and perhaps you too, you know you have it. You know you have the expertise, you have the superpower, the skill, and that amazing product or service that you want to unleash on the world. Is that how you feel? Do you have it? So maybe you've already made the leap and you've started your own business and it is going great, but you've hit a plateau and you just need some help to move yourself up to the next level so you can achieve the next plateau. Or maybe you already started, you're one of those who started, but you feel stuck. Things didn't get off as well as you like, so you feel a bit stuck. Who has questions swirling in their head right now? Questions like, what kind of questions do you have? Are your questions like these? What if you fail? What if you made a mistake? How will you find customers? Are those the kind of questions you have that's going on in your head right now? Chances are there are even questions that you would not be in your head if you had not jumped on this training. Well, not to worry. Whatever your situation, we are going to help you. We are going to help you to get from where you are to where you want to be. So, we are going to reveal the secret to building your own business so that you can be your own boss. If you like that, give me a yay in the chat box. So, let me share with you some of the things that you're going to discover from this training. You'll discover how to turn your passion and your expertise from the launching of from the idea, from the birth of the idea to the launch and profit. Number two, you learn how you can model to launch fast, easily, and successfully. And three, you learn how to build, launch, and sell all your products or services with our support and our guidance. And that's what you want, isn't it? That's what you'll discover from the blueprint that I'm going to be sharing with you. So, what type of business are you looking to get started? Truly, it doesn't matter if it's a brick and mortar, if it's an online business, if it's a home based business, or even a professional service. What I'm going to be sharing with you are fundamentals, the proven strategies for building successful businesses. We'll be covering everything from identifying your niche market and developing your brand to creating your systems and processes that you will need to scale your business up to six figures and beyond. Now, I mentioned earlier on that I have a bonus for you that stay to the end. Who wants that bonus? If that's you, just put a one in the chat box, and you're gonna love it. And then I'm also going to make an outrageous offer for anyone that want to work with me. So stick around so that you can participate in all of these exciting things we have. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jim Coach, Jim Foster, the business training coach here. I'm a retired insurance industry veteran of over 50 years, and I with experience in marketing, sales, and service. I'm known as the implementation strategist who help employees launch and grow their own business. I care about you and your family, and I'm passionate about showing and helping you how to do that. Let me tell you why I'm so passionate about it. In my years in the insurance business, I recall on one occasion I did notice that there were business owners coming to me for insurance. Now, these were contractors, mind you, and they wanted the insurance in a hurry. When I asked, well, what's the hurry? The answer was always one or two things. Well, you see, I'm negotiating this contract and they say I need insurance and I don't have any. Or, well, I got the contract, completed the work, and I'm supposed to get my check on Friday. And they say I need to bring my insurance, but I don't have any. So I realized, lo and behold, that while these craftsmen were good at their craft, they were the best at what they did. But when it comes to putting their craft on a business platform, building a platform that was viable and could scale, was scalable, they didn't have a clue. They were literally flying off the seat of their pants. And it was at that time I made the decision that when I retire, then I am going to be working with that group of people, the small business owner, to help them to develop and grow even more successful and profitable business. Today you are being a part of my aspiration. So thank you for showing up. But me being here today, it looks easy. It wasn't always that way. You see, I was that successful engineer that was stuck in a cubicle. But I had dreams of being a hotshot top salesman. But at first it didn't pan out. You see, I ended up when I decided to walk away from the cubicle, from my engineering job, to be an entrepreneur. The first thing that came along was contract to sell life insurance in the projects. You know, among poor people. So there were these small policies. But something great came out of that experience because that's when I developed the passion for really helping and serving people. And I soon climbed to the top of the insurance industry in Jamaica. And I had a good life. It was great. I even made the life insurance $1 million round table. You know why that is so special? Only 3% of the world's population of life insurance agents made that table. So life was good, but politics threw a wrench in my plans. You see, right at the height of my career, then the political turmoil developed, and I, like thousands of other business people, left Jamaica. So I landed in America here with $50 to start life all over again. But I didn't worry because I knew my stuff. Even though I left it all behind to start all over, sheer determination and hard work, I built a successful insurance company from the ground up. I retired from it with the intention of riding off into the sunset to live my dream life. And yes, you guessed it. Life is funny because right off, not long after that, the recession hit and it wiped me out. It wiped out almost completely. So I fell to rock bottom. I was at the lowest point of my life. I call it my valley moment. Losing all my real estate, my stock market would be wiped out, banking overdraft, the banking and transportation challenges, you name it, I experienced it. But my breakdown became my breakthrough. It worked. Instead of doom and gloom that was facing me, I shared my knowledge and my experience with entrepreneurs. I developed programs for entrepreneurs. The business plan made easy was one of my first seminars because I realized that these business owners did not have a written business plan. The plan was in their head, and that's not adequate enough. It needs to be a written plan, and I'll share with you why later on. Then I expanded to business from scratch because they needed more than just a business plan. And that led eventually to my framework, the transformational equation that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. The Be Your Own Boss community is what came out of my breakthrough, my breakdown moments, which became the breakthrough and take us to where we are here today. So this helped me to get back to life on my terms. I love traveling. I've been traveling from I was out of college, traveling the world. And uh, now I'm able to do that again. But not only that, I get to do coaching, speaking, and training worldwide. Um, and that has brought me in touch with very important people. For example, Harrington, the guy that one of the first founders of Shark Tank, the legendary Brian Tracy, who I used to read his works when I was a young man. And of course, speaking opportunities, teaching, training, and a couple of the crowning achievement was winning the SBA Home Based Business Champion of the Year award back in 2017. And only last month, I had the distinct honor and privilege of being awarded the resolution proclamation by the state of Georgia that some of the that is awarded to distinguished members of the state. Thank you all, because it is because of you that made all these things possible for me. So, why do I do this? What's my why? Why is always a very important question to ask, because there is so much lays beneath that why when you dig deep. My why, I started out as one of you. I saw your pain. I saw your struggles. I see your passion. And I've been where you were, but I worked my way out. And now, because I've been through it all, I know exactly how you feel. I've been there. And I want to help you to navigate with confidence and resilience. But the journey, it's not just about the ups and downs. It's an emotional entrepreneurial journey. And this journey includes the ups and downs, the doubts and the fears, the moments of triumph and setback. And sometimes it can be overwhelming, but I came through, not because I did it all by myself. You see, I sought mentors and coaches. And I got help along the way. So my goal is to pay it forward with my knowledge and my experience. You can benefit from my experience. And they say experience is a great teacher. Well, trust me, it doesn't have to be your experience. It's great when you can learn from the experience of others. Starting your business, I know, can be daunting. The uncertainty, the risk. But it's not just about the nuts and bolts of starting. It can also be rewarding. How rewarding it is to take control of your own destiny, to build a successful business that provides for you and your family. That's why I'm so passionate about helping others to do the same. Whether you are still employed, looking to transition to self employment, or if you already made the move, made the leap, and you're already running your business and you want to scale your business up to the next level, what you really want, tell me, isn't it? The vehicle that can provide the fuel to support your dream, freedom, independence, and wealth? If that's what you want, put a one in your chat box. Let's just make sure. Meet Joe. This Joe was one of my first big clients. Joe was the head of the transportation department for one of the major counties with responsibility for over 100 school buses. Now, the interesting thing about Joe is that from he was a boy, he loved driving. That was his passion. And he dreamed of having his own driving transportation company. So the closest he could get as he was growing up was to be driving. And of course, as he grew up, life got in the way, getting married, having a family, and taking care of them. But now family is grown, kids are gone, it's just him and his wife, and she wants to pursue her degree, advanced degree, and he figured it was time for himself. So he sought me out. Together, we worked the plan out. And this picture was the day when Joe, with his family, drove off the lot with his new 55-seater luxury coach. Today, Joe is a happy camper because he has his transportation business with more than one vehicles, and he's able to manage his own time, live the life that he wants to live. If that's the end result that you are looking for, then go ahead and put a one in the chat. Just say that's me. That's me. Not only have I been successful myself, but I've helped thousands of people achieve success. My coaching and my mentoring help those individuals and entrepreneurs to improve their lives and to better their circumstances. And that is always the goal. You always want to be better. My own entrepreneurial experience of over 50 years, sales, marketing, and business has been helpful. And so, what I am sharing with you, if you want to build, launch, build, and run your business, if you want the business of your dream, then pay attention, pay close attention, because what I'm going to be sharing with you is not theory. What I'll be sharing with you is what I've lived and what I've experienced over 50 years. So, let me introduce let me introduce the solution to the issue that you have at hand. As I said, it's created from 5 decades of business, marketing, and insurance experience, knowledge, and expertise. Introducing the four pillar business launch and growth framework. Now, what is this? It is the transformational equation. It is the only framework that you need. It is what you need to build your own business that fuel your dream to be your own boss. Let me share with you a comparison to put it in perspective. Building a business is like building a house. Let's make the comparison. When a house becomes a home that has all the convenience of comfort for the homeowner. But where did it begin? It began with the foundation, number one. Then it continued with the four walls. And the next step was the enclosures, all the fixtures, the bath, the kitchen that you need, and then a roof on top of it. Those four elements were put together to create a comfortable environment that we call home. Now, what are the four components of the business? Well, it begins with your product, identifying the product. Then it's the people. Who are the people that, and let me talk, the product, by product we mean that that service or device that is in your passion, doing the thing that you love that comes out of your expertise, your knowledge, your training. You wrap that into a product. Then the people is those people that is basically in your life, as we would say. It begins, first of all, with you and then your team and the other entities that you have to work with. The third component is your process. What is the process that will take your product or your service from it is an idea down to the point when it fulfills its purpose of being in the hands of your customer who uses it and gets satisfaction from it. And the fourth piece is the promotion. What are the steps? What are the tools that you use to get it from you, your warehouse, into the hands of the customers? Those four P's is what we consider to be the framework. So the product, number one, we said it's a product that you identify and create of your services from your love, from your passion, your expertise, the market research that you have to do, the identifying the demand, availability, what are the trends, the analysis, competitive analysis, all the gaps in the marketplace, evaluating your profitability and your resources for fulfillment. These are all the things that you have to do when it comes to the product in developing that product that is valuable. When it comes to your people, you do that self assessment to ensure that you are right for business, taking stock of yourself to know your limitations um, and what is the ideal business for you. Then there's your target audience, your demographics. You want to know who is that individual person that will find your product to be the perfect answer to the problem that they have. Your team, which are your employees, that what position, what skill sets do they need, what education level, and your partners, your suppliers, your accountant, contractors, your insurance agent. These are all the people that is within your circle that you have to work with. The starting point is your motivation. Now, we will start with the motivation and use the example of what we identify as the assessment to deter the assessment worksheet to identify your motivation for going in business. Then we will associate your motivation with your traits. This will allow you to identify what we call your roots of power. And the roots of power essentially speaks to the strengths that you have in these areas. We all have strengths that we need to identify. We have skills that we need to develop if we are to own and grow a healthy business. You know, even a small tree, it starts out with a root system, but it grows to be a huge system before it is able to bear fruits and begin to bloom and bear fruits. The roots of power is a system for identifying your strengths that can feed your business and yourself in four critical areas. Your roots of people power, which speaks to your ability to interact and influence others, your staff, your partners, your bankers, your customers. People who rate themselves as high in people power are tend to be likable and easygoing. It is easy for them to attract and keep customers. We're going to look at the case study of Marlena and use her as an example who has that lots of people power. The second roots of power is the roots of sales power, and that's the ability to set and maintain sales goals, being ready to sell at all times. People with sales power know how to sell all the time. They have no qualms about asking for the sale. They are not shy about going to meetings and talking with new people. They are comfortable asking for business. That's your roots of power, people power. The third is your roots of financial power, and that is your ability to secure and manage money and credit. People who rate themselves as high in this financial power regularly do carry out activities such as balancing their checkbooks. They use financial management tools. They understand the process. If an accountant uses a term, then and if they don't know it, they will ask about it. They'll go look it up so that they can understand and add it to their vocabulary. They know their personal credit scores and they have strategies to improve them if they need to be improved. And the fourth root of power is what we call self discipline. Self discipline is that ability to, excuse me, self discipline is that ability to manage your time, your habits, and your energy. People who have strong self discipline, they tend to work even when they haven't had enough sleep. Uh, They do it without the luxuries to save enough to finance their business idea. They pay their taxes on time, and when a staff person quit or they lose a big contract, they have a plan B. We are going to review Marlena's roots of power in the self-assessment to see how she can use these traits to rate high in strength, high or low. Now, we let's take the case of Marlena. The first step is your assessment and your planning. The assessment and your planning. And we're going to use the example of the young lady we call Marlena, um, who uh, to see if she is a good fit for business. You see, Marlena is at a crossroads. Marlena is at a crossroads because she is an experienced stylist. Um, she works in a chain hair care salon. Now, she is worried. She's worried because she's uncertain if her employer will be able to stay in business much longer. Her boss makes bad decisions, he has poor financial management, and he lacks customer focus. So she knows that she has the skills to provide high quality service to her customers. She also thinks she has the ability to run her own salon or spa one day. She has a warm personality, which helps her to develop relationship with people, dozens of customers over the years. Her family is very supportive and they believe in her. They believe in her dream of opening a day spa to provide an exceptional array of services of natural beauty products and in an attractive and relaxed environment. They know that they figure she could be successful if she's willing to put the necessary time and make smart decisions. Marlene also thinks that she'd be a great business person, but she has some doubts and fears. She needs to understand what it means to own a business in order to make decisions that is right for her. As we discussed this case, then you can discover if going in business is a good fit for you as well. Think of the advice, what advice you would give to her about some of the realities of owning a business. Do you think owning a business is a good fit for her? We have developed an assessment and planning worksheet to help making that important decision. The assessment and planning, the objective is to identify and verify your niche in the marketplace, to identify the reason, to know exactly what resources you need to be successful in the market, to successfully market, sell, and serve your clients. There are three essential rules to keep in business, to keep you in business. You have to have clients. Having your clients, have them coming back to you repeatedly and often. And we are going to demonstrate this with a case study of Marlene. In this exercise, we have 10 personality traits which will identify your strength, weakness, opportunities, or threats. We'll rank them according to high, medium, or low. High means you're strong in those traits. Medium means it's acceptable. And low, of course, you need to work on them or find a partner. So as you can see, Marlena, uh, well, let's go through them and see how she rates them. The first one, Marlena's roots of power, is her of people power, her skill, knowledge, and attitude. And the question to ask, is she easygoing and likable? Her answer is yes. She rates herself high in that category. Question number two, is she an active listener? Does she listen to customers, staff, and her stakeholders? And she ranks herself high because dozens of customers, they are ready to support her. The third question, am I honest and sincere? Does people trust her word and believe in her? She ranks high because her customers trust her and they're willing and ready to buy from her. Number four speaks to being inspiring to others, customers, staff, and partners. She gives herself a medium because she's not sure how inspiring she can be. Number five, I have respect for others who have differing opinions or values. Ranks herself as high because she has a diverse base of customers and friends. And number six, I have strong vision and belief in what I'm capable of doing. She herself high because many her customers simply adore her, they love her. Number seven, does she think ahead? Is she able to plan for the future, not just for now? She ranks herself medium because she can be shy at times. And for eight, I can explain idea. Can she explain ideas in simple and clear terms? Does she know how to tell a convincing story so that customers will buy from her? And she ranks herself medium because she is at times shy. And number eight, I'm a great connector. Is she a great connector? Is she at ease networking and meeting new people and introducing herself? She ranks low on that because she can be intimidated and overwhelmed by large groups sometimes, she says. And number 10, does she have great management and supervision skills? For instance, can she give underperforming staff constructive feedback? And she says, no, she ranks herself low. She needs to work on that because she does not like to hurt other people's feelings. So there we have it. Those are, let's go ahead and see how Marlena ranks herself. As you can see, she ranks herself high in five categories. Two categories are low, which means three is mediocre. So this self-assessment motivated her to get coaching on how to improve some of her skills. She also realized that she may need a partner who um, she may need a partner who has strengths that she lacks. She rates herself as high on several people power categories. She's easygoing and she's likable. She's a good listener. She's honest and respectful. She has a strong vision or belief in her idea. These are all great competencies. Marlena also rates herself as low as a connector or networker, and she lacks the management or supervision skills. So she thinks sometimes she might be too nice at times. But the good news is that Marlena can use her strength to support areas where she is low. Perhaps a partner can help with staffing supervision or management responsibilities. Perhaps Marlena can find an who mentor on how to some of her feet. So the conclusion, Marlena thinks that she is a good fit for business. So she is ready to move on to the next stage. She has most of the necessary traits to be successful, but she knows she cannot do it all alone. But from the homework that she did, she found the right partner in her friend Naveen who can supplement her skills. Marlena is confirmed that she's a good fit for business, so she is ready to move on to the next stage, the, the, the planning process. So, what about you? Is your business ownership is business ownership a good fit for you? Having done the assessment and determined the then the business is a good fit for Merlina. But what is your motivation? Is it money? Is it to create a job? Or is it just because you are good at something? Maybe baking, or fixing cars, or selling. If you know your motivation, then put that in the chat box. Now, also, if you already have a business, try to remember your original motivation for starting it. Take time to reflect, show self assessment, and trust your advisors. Engage them in conversation about your ideas, about your strengths, your competencies, and your need to develop. This is powerful stuff. Okay, so having pillar number one. What questions do we have on pillar number one? Go ahead and put it in the chat box. Okay, let's move on to pillar number two. Oh, sorry, that was number two. Let's move. That was pillar number two. Let's move on to pillar number three, the process. Now, in pillar number three, this is where we contemplate, we look at, we develop things such as your corporate structure. How do you register your business, your corporate structure, your branding, your taxes? Um, okay, so for this process number three, we're going to use the case study of Sophia to illustrate the process of planning, the other part of the assessment and planning. Now, um, let's look at um, let's talk about Sophia, and we will use a realistic example to review the new business owner's planning process over a 2-year period. Let me just say something. While in this example, we're talking about an extended period of time, 2 years, circumstances different. So today, there are businesses that you can get started right after getting out of this course. For some people, it's a lot lengthier process. If you're just at the idea stage, then you need to you need more time. You need to determine how much your funding, exactly what you're going to do. That's a different process. But there are some of you that is ready right now to get started, to turn the key on your business. So let's plow through and see how Sophia went through that process. But first of all, who is Sophia? Sophia is a mother of two smart and hungry teenagers. She has an idea to start a business repairing cell phones and small appliances. Now, her sons and several friends think that it's a terrific idea, but Sophia has to plan. She needs to figure out how she will make money, how she will finance and pay for her startup costs. She needs to complete the 4 steps in her planning. So, at each step, she asks and answers specific questions. Now, as she progresses through these steps, the questions get more specific and the answers becomes much more detailed. It took Sophia 2 years until she was able to quit her day job ha, and begin to work full time for herself. So, as we review Sophia's planning process, you can begin to apply these 4 steps to your own business. You may find several of her actions relate to your own planning process. So, the what and why. So, what is the objective? The objective in Sophia's case, and in this case, is to identify the resources that is needed. The reason is so that you can know exactly what resource is needed to successfully set up a business operation. You need to identify what cost is related to the resources and how to manage and run the business effectively. Now, let me give you a rule for success. And I took this from the book The Richest Man in Babylon, which is a great read for anyone that is contemplating going in business. First is to spend less than you make. What does that mean? That you have to plan, budget. Second, pay yourself first. Third, meet your obligations and then start your legacy plan in motion. So let's begin this process with the case study of Sophia that illustrates how the process works. We begin by identifying where you are in your planning. Like Sophia, most new business owners tend to start out with a lot of vague ideas and lots of questions. As a business takes shape and become more complex, the questions change. Here's an overview of a 4 step planning process. Step one, what we call the back of the napkin plan. This is to make the determination of a go or no go. Remember the example of Marlena, the process that she went through? That was step number one. It is, and so from that, she made the decision that yes, she is going into business. The step number two constitutes preliminary research. It's a resource plan. What do I need to go? What do I need to get started? For example, open a balance sheet and begin a long-term relationship with your banker. Of course, the banking has changed somewhat today because it's more hands-off. Rarely do you have to go in and find a relationship with a banker. The step three is the business plan. How will you finance the business? This is where more research, more detailed planning, and financing comes in. Then there is a resource plan, sources of support. This comes from the action plan. Step number four, how will I manage a healthy business? Then we do an update on the living document that changes with time. Over time, they change. So those are the 4 steps in the 4 step planning model. The the research. Let's talk about the resource. So a few months have passed, and Sophia has done some research. She refined her initial idea. She has decided to specialize in repairing cell phones, iPads, and tablets. She dropped the small appliance. She might expand, oh, she thought she might expand into small appliances and repair later on. Some of the steps she took include asking colleagues to identify, to help her, those who are already in business, with advice. She got them to help her thinking through the business model from the local women's business center. She took a course to learn more about what she needed to do to get ready. Best of all, she began a resource plan to record how much money she would need to open her doors and keep operating for at least 6 months. In step one of the planning process, a ballpark dollar figure was okay. But in step two, the number needs to be more specific. Take a look at Sophia's resource plan and see how she navigated through all of these. We know from the planning, the from the resources she needs to set the budget, to determine what equipment, what supplies needed, determine basic skills that she needs to be ready. Who does she need to support and complement her? Some of what are the other factors such as insurance, taxes that needs to be considered. Now here are the in this is her budget. So the resource plan covers these areas: pay, equipment, and supplies. And of course, we provide some categories to get you started, such as rental space, equipment, tools, and so on. Um, Office space, number two is the office, okay, office space. Here she budget. Oh, let me just backtrack here. I think I messed this up. Number one, we're looking at the space, equipment, and supplies. We need to get ballpark figures on those costs. Number two would be the office space, which found a place for $1,000 a month, $12,000 for the year. Desk and chair in $300 in inventory, workbench, tools, $1,500, office supplies, $200, marketing and sales, material, $1,500. Total allocation, she needs $18,250 for that part of the plan. The next section, B, covers the skills that she and her boys needs to have. She allocates $1,100 for weekend courses to cover such areas as the latest phone technology, project management courses at an adult education center, courses on social media marketing, and an additional $1,200 for staff and personal personnel, such as backup person, bookkeeping, mentoring, and coaching. Step three, the complete resource plan helped Sophia refine her ideas. For example, she discovered that she needs more money to start and operate her plan, her business, than she at first guesstimated. She had to make an adjustment as part of her homework. She talked with a bank officer who encouraged Sophia to raise her credit score. To determine this, they look at Sophia's credit history. The officer encouraged Sophia to start writing a business plan and to be ready to prove she has collateral, usually equity in a house or condo. Sophia needed to reduce her credit card's debt. So she went home and explained the situation to her kids, get their buy-in. And they agreed that they were going to eat out less often. They're going to buy fewer clothes. The oldest son will get a part-time job. They got a cheaper phone plan. Sophia cut back on her designer, coffee, and online shopping. These changes took time, and they were not easy, but they add up. Within a year, Sophia was able to pay off her credit cards, put money in her savings. She improved her credit score, and during this time, she worked on several drafts of a business plan. To learn how to do this, she took a course at the community center. A mentor coached her on how to write parts of her business plan. When her business plan was ready, she shared it with some of her close friends and extended family. They were impressed and they were excited with her idea and realistic goals. Together, they were able to pool money and loan her the startup funds that she needed to open her business doors. So, the resource plan by she now, having gone through the resource plan, she knows how much money she needs. She knows what to do to get the funding and where to find it, what revenue she needed to generate to stay afloat and save, what must be in her business plan, and why she must have a written business plan. Step four is the action plan. Now, Sophia has been in business for a while. She's ready to get rolling. She began gathering great customers. She's able to meet her financial obligation, pay herself a working wage. She's doing great because she's organized. She knows to focus on most important tasks that she can manage. Other tasks is handled by her assistant or outsourced, which frees her up to achieve balance. Own business. You see, she has been in business for a while now. She has great customers. She's able to meet her financial obligations, rent, utilities, loan payments. She's even able to pay herself a small wage. She's doing great. Some of the tasks needs to be managed by Sophia herself. These are tasks that make the best use of her time. The other tasks are best outsourced to others, such as by her assistants. So by prioritizing, she's able to make important in her business and free up time for her work-life balance. So the assessment and planning, once that is done, then it's time to write the business plan. Having a written business plan. And the written business plan you set are reasonable and attainable. And you have a plan for reaching these goals. And of course, the operational management lays out the roadmap for your business journey. So, are you ready for the next step? We've just covered step one, and there are six more steps to learn. You want to be sure why you're going in business. You want to know what business you want to start. Okay, so now you know that you're sure that you want to go in business, what business you want to start, and why you want to go in business. Then let's go dive in and take a look at the other parts of it. Now we remember in part we are in part three, pillar number three, and that's where we look at the organizational structure, your government entities, your compliance. These are all areas that you have to pre-plan and understand before getting started. So, for example, You determine your corporate structure, a sole proprietorship or C corporation. What business license, permits, ordinances do you need? County, state ordinance, permits, home-based business, taxes and federal, excise, if it's that type of business that you're in, getting your tax ID number, state income tax, sales tax, unemployment insurance, labor, state regulations, federal agencies, occupational safety and health administration regulations. You need to know these. Utilities, garbage, gas service, the electrical, and all these things that you need to understand before stepping out. Then there's your financial management. We call that keeping score. Cash flow management. Under your management, you have to look at things, your tools for keeping score, which would be your banking and credit, your accounting and bookkeeping, insurance and risk management. Do you understand the state, your how to effectively use your banking statements, your cash flow statement, your profit and loss, your balance sheet, a break-even point in being able to so let's talk about this. Keeping score requires an understanding of these three financial statements. Your cash flow statement, which, uh, well, let's begin with your profit and loss statement, which tells you where your money is coming from, whether you're making a profit or not, and where your money is coming from. Your cash flow statement tells you where your money is going, where it's coming from, and where it is going. And it positions you to make sound financial decisions. Your balance sheet tells you, gives you a snapshot of where your business is at the moment. And this is a tool that goes directly to helping you to create your legacy. So if you set a task, a goal of what you want to achieve by out of your business when you're ready to get out of it, then this balance sheet is your tracking tool. Tells you as you go along where you are at that point in time. Some other little things that's important, like your gross margin, that speaks to your profitability, and you can pick that up from your profit and loss statement. Mm. These statements help you to identify your break-even point. What is your break-even point? In other words, uh, how much money do you need to generate each month? Well, if you need $5,000 in your overhead each month, then your break between your break-even point and your gross margin, you are able to tell how many sales of your unit item you have to make. For example, if you're selling t-shirts, by using these, by understanding and using these statements, you are able to determine how many, how many, how many t-shirts you need to make each month just to stay in business, just to break even. Once you break even, then you go into profit. So with those kind of numbers, you you all you, we call those your key indicators, and you simply need to know have your daily your regular goal. Am I going into all of this? You need to have your goal. It helps you to have keep track of exactly what you need to do, so you can focus your attention and manage and track as you go along. By the way, for those of you who do your accounting by yourself, doing it yourself, which I don't recommend, I do recommend that you hand that off to a professional, and time that you put into that you use it for your work-life balance or for you focusing on what you do best. But for those of you who insist on doing it yourself, Wave app is a great accounting program and it's free. It's a great free accounting program. That's one of the free bonuses that I give you. Okay, so then there is your insurance and risk management. Remember how I told you that it was because of with people coming to me for insurance why I'm doing what I'm doing now? Yes, they didn't calculate the need for insurance before they went in business, but it's important. And the risk management along with that speaks to how you can keep your insurance costs down and protect yourself safely. Why is this important? Recently, I had a client that um, wanted to go into emergency transportation business because she thought it was a great business. But fortunately for her, she engaged me to help her. And at the very outset, we discovered it was not a good fit for her. Why? We could not get the information that we needed in order to make basic projections. You had to sign up with these companies. And before you could sign up with them, you had to have your vehicles, at least two vehicles, you had to have insurance. How many of you know that the emergency transportation arena is, has one of the highest insurance costs? It does. So that was not a good fit. And thankfully, she listened to me on that. That's why it's important to do your homework ahead of time. Okay, moving right along. Your operations management is the other part of your process. So there are two areas in the business of in the operation of the business. There are your people on the one side, that's your administrative staff, your workers, your production workers, all your people. Well, we address that in pillar number one, in pillar number two. But here in pillar number three, the other part of your operations management is the products, managing your products and services, your production, your equipment, your supplies, and fulfillment. With effective, with effective management, the business generates revenue that allows trouble-free operation and buy you more time to pursue your passion and do what you love best. Now, marketing, sales, and service is the next element to consider. This talks to how you find, reach, sell, and retain your potential customers. Where do you find them? Where do they hang out? What's their income range? What's their age? We talk about the demographics. What's their age level? Who are their peers? What is the pain point that your ideal customer experience that your business will solve? Identifying the problems in your market that is associated with your business idea. These are the these are the considerations that is looked at in the area. Developing a killer marketing plan. You have to have implementing a masterful sales process, providing unforgettable customer service. And the other part of the process is delivering unforgettable customer service. It begins with your mission statement. It clarifies the goal you intend to achieve for your business and the process for such achievement. You want to satisfy the most important goal of getting your customers, getting customers number one, but getting them to return to you. And not just to return to you one time or two times, but to return to you repeatedly and frequently. That's how you build a solid business. But of course, part of it comes from mastering the art of handling complaints. Understanding why is this important? Because understand that the cost of attracting a new customer is 5 times the cost of keeping an existing customer. So you want to uh, apply that concept well. Then another very important area is professional development. Now we're speaking about you, yourself. How do you find a Sherpa to guide you to the top of the mountain? You can't do it, you can't do it all yourself effectively. Everyone should have a mentor. Mentoring brings three things. Number one, brings new ideas. Number two, it brings accountability. And number three, it produces results. There are new ideas that is swirling around in your head right now that would not have been there if you did not make time for this training. Go ahead and put it in the chat box. Tell me some of the ideas that is coming up in your head now because of being on this training. Okay, so that covers pillar number 3. What questions do you have? Put your questions in the chat box. Right? So now, number 4. Pillar number 4 is your promotion. This speaks, okay, so the roof that covers and protects everything is the promotion that produces the results that keeps your business flowing. Let's break this down into two categories. You have social, on one hand, you have social media marketing, as it is called. And this includes and involves your content marketing, email marketing, influencer marketing, search engine optimization, podcasting, and any other new things that comes up in the as a result of technology. On the other side is what we call the print media. So there's your newspaper, your magazines, and even though they are in the decline, but they still have a relevant place and they still serve that purpose. There is a certain market that is with those traditional media methods. There's speaking, book writing, having a book, advertising, radio, TV, billboard advertising, events, professional associate membership in professional association. Those little bandit signs, how many times have you come to an intersection and you see that little sign? Maybe written on a piece of cardboard. But guess what? It works. And then, of course, if you have a brick and mortar building, you'll want to have a sign, a proper sign that will identify your business. So the fundamentals that you need to win at this point, we know that you must have a dream that is compelling, that drives you, a vision that is clear and motivating, a commitment that fuels your drive, the skills, knowledge, training, or experience in your chosen field, your chosen path, a written business plan, the roadmap for your business journey, and the ability to take massive and immediate action. These 6 shifts alone is enough to get you to a six-figure business income. So the next step is to find and engage the right coaching and mentoring program to begin your transformation. But you must be decisive. You must be ready to take massive and immediate action to get results. Follow the Bill Gates example when asked by Larry King the secret to his success. I took massive and immediate actions, Larry. That's that will get you there. Take meet John Golden, Golden Professional Realty. John came to me for guidance because he wanted to start a real estate business. He was in love with the business, but he was working with a transportation company, and he wanted to get out of that 9 to 5 grind. Well, we got together, we did his business plan and went through the process. Today, John has a real estate company that is moving and shaking. John is very happy. He has a family business that is now positioned to leave a legacy. I would look on, we're friends on Facebook, and ever so often he's closed another deal or he's have another listing. He's working on something on another project. So, he, and John tells me, as part of the testimony he gives, that without my guidance, he would not be where he is today. So the point here is the importance of having mentoring and coaching to guide you so you can get to the top of the mountain. Another example is Alicia. Alicia wanted to start the City of Hope, a nonprofit for pregnant teens, abused women, and displaced families. She retired from the post office and decided what this is what she wanted to do in her senior years. Today, the organization that we create is producing multiple six figures annually that serves the community's need. She now sits on the city council of the city in which she lives, and we see so frequently her organization is leading these drives. One of the number one is like the back to school, where they have gather the backpack supplies for needy children going back to school. So the point is, whatever is in your mind that you want to do, it can be done. You simply have to take action and seek the guidance to it. So what questions do you have as we wrap up the four pillars? Okay, so now you're ready for the next leg of the entrepreneurial journey. If you want to learn more about starting and growing your business, how to enter the business world, create products or services from what you love, learn how to sell your expertise that you're great at, how to get customers for your business, then this is for you. Introducing the Be Your Own Boss Bootcamp.